Hi friends, welcome to Taste to Explore. My name is Darlene. Now on today's episode, my friends, I am so very thrilled to be making one of the most amazing Puerto Rican style classic Arroz con Dulce. Like never before. This, my friends, takes me way back when I was a child, eating this delicious dessert that typically is made with real coconut milk. It's delicious, my friends, and it's so worth the effort. It's so worth it all. So right now, my friends, we are going to work on these bad boys, and then we will continue on with the rest of the ingredients. Let's begin. Alright, my friends, now let's begin. Right here, you're going to need a tall glass. You're going to need a paring knife with a nice sharp point. And with your coconut, you'll be going to find to see which one of these three eyes, as they call it, which one is soft enough to poke a hole in it, because we need to drain out all of the coconut water that's in here. Now let's do that. Alright, so first things first, we need to see which ones are soft. The bottom one doesn't have, so it's just the top, not the sides. Alright, so with the pointy part of your knife, we're going to gently poke a hole and see which one goes in. And you want to like apply a little pressure and almost like you're screwing on something right here. So we're gonna see, this feels like it's going through. Keep on doing this. You're gonna hear like a little sound, almost like how you open up a can of soda, a little air pressure sound, and then you know you went right through the meat. Heard that? Because I heard it. Alright, so we finally reached through. I kind of want to make another hole, only because it just makes it more better to have two holes and the water can come out faster. So I'm just going to make a second hole. But if you can't make a second hole, no worries. You can just deal with the first one and have patience as it pours out. If you have a drill, like a power drill, that would be perfect. You can use that. Alright, yeah. So there you go. I'm going to do this for a little bit. And I'll see you right back. And I'm going to do the second one as well. And then I'm going to show you how I crack this baby open. See you right back. Alright, my friends, so I had gotten out just a little bit of coconut water. Maybe it's about a cup that this got out. So now it's time to crack these babies out. So what I'm going to do is use a kitchen towel. You're going to find a method that works for you. Not every method works. And once you find that method that works, you stick with it if possible. You're going to need a hammer, and you're going to need to be careful and make little hits. And be careful. Guys, so I got one opened, and now we are just going to remove some of the coconuts from the hard shell. And I'm just going to continue on with both until I have everything freed up. Alright, so I'll see you right back. Alright guys, so here are my two coconuts finally chopped open. It took a little strength there, so you make sure you set out time for that. And I just want to show you that, making sure that when you crack your coconut, you don't leave no kind of hard shell. This actually is not the hard shell. This is like the skin. So that's fine, and that can be ground up when we put it in the blender. But this cannot be. So you just make sure with a nice paring knife, and you don't hurt yourself. You know, you find a way to dig into the corners, and you try to release the meat off of the shell, and you continue. And this is the part that's just a little bit of work. And there you go. I finally got it loose. So I'm going to discard this, and I'm going to leave this on. I'm just going to rinse them off, and I'm going to chop these to bite-sized pieces because I don't want my blender to overwork itself, because these are hard, and you know you want to take care of your stuff. So chop these down, rinse these off, throw these away, and I'll be right back. Alright my friends, right here are the 2 coconuts that I chopped up. I removed that hard shell, and I just rinsed them off slightly, and I just chopped them up to bite-sized pieces, just so that way I don't you know, mess up my blender in the process. And with the 2 coconuts, they didn't really produce so much of the coconut water, but this is what I got to drain out from both of them. So now let's start making our coconut milk. Alright my friends, so in this next step, we're going to need a blender to make our fresh coconut milk. It doesn't matter if it's a powerful blender, all it matters is that you chop up your fresh coconut meat to the smallest pieces that you can. It doesn't have to be tremendously tiny, but good enough that you don't overwork your blender. So we're just going to put some in. Now remember, I had cracked open 2 coconuts, and I'm going to make, I want to try to make between 6 and 8 cups of coconut milk. It's okay if we have leftover coconut milk, because it still is going to be delicious. If you have leftover, you can drink it, you can use it in whatever you like. But it's better to have more than less. So I'm just going to put some in here, half of what I made, or at least we can do in small batches. And then I'm going to put my water. Alright, so I have put around 4.5 cups to 5, and now I'm just going to blend this all the way through. Alright, now let's begin. Alright guys, so this is my second batch, and I had used up all of my coconut and all of my water. Now what I want to tell you with this is, when you blend it, make sure that you allow it to blend between 30 seconds to 1 minute. You want it to make sure that all the pulp is ground up to its finest point, and so that way you can abstract much of the coconut milk as possible. So I did this several times, maybe 2 times, for about 30 seconds to a minute, and now I feel that it is ready to go. So I have like I said, this is my second batch. And now what I want to tell you as well is, we are going to save at least 2 cups of the pulp with the milk, and I'm going to place it right in here so I can measure it out, and then the rest we're going to strain out. Alright, now let's begin that. Alright, so I want to save about 2 cups with the pulp and the milk. Okay, and then the rest we're going to discard right in here. Alright my friends, so here it goes, homemade coconut milk, as you can see. Now I'm going to squeeze down to capture all of the milk that's in here. And this is the pulp, my friends. Look at this coconut pulp, fresh coconut pulp. Now what you can do is, which I'm going to do, is I'm going to reserve about a half a cup to a cup. Actually, I'm going to reserve a cup. At this point, our coconut milk is done. And right here we have the pulp. Now if you want, you can reserve more of the pulp. I just reserved only a cup of this and the milk with the pulp. That is all I reserved, but feel free to save and taste and add more, or don't add any if you prefer. Okay? Alright, my friends, so now let's begin our next process, and now we're going to make our tea. Our delicious, flavorful tea that is going to have the combinations of some warm spices, and it's just going to bring so much deliciousness to your arroz con dulce. So now let's begin. So here are my warm spices. Right here I have 1 tablespoon of allspice berries. And then I have here 1 tablespoon of cloves. Right here I have around 11 slices of ginger, because I got like it was about the size of my thumb, like an inch long, and I just sliced it up to as thin or thick as much as I can. It really doesn't make a difference. I left the skin on, and I'm just going to boil this in the water. And right here I have 4 cinnamon sticks, and that is all you're going to need to get this started. Okay, so right here I have a small saucepan with 3 cups of water. I'm going to put my stove onto a medium low. I want this tea to simmer and get really nice and concentrated with all the warm spices. So right here I'm going to put my berries, my allspice berries, my cloves. Okay, putting in cinnamon sticks, and then my fresh ginger. You can go light on the ginger if you want to, but it's all a matter of taste. Alright, so I'm just going to be putting in my ginger, and everything is going to get nice and flavorful and simmer away, and creating a really good tea mixture for our arroz con dulce. So this is going to take about a few minutes. I would say 5 to 10 minutes, and I'm going to show you how that looks when it's done. Alright guys, so our tea is done, and it smells so good. It had reduced some, and it had simmered for a good 15 minutes. It's absolutely divine. It smells and looks amazing, and I just cannot wait to begin our process of making our arroz con dulce. Alright, my friends, so at this point we are going to strain our tea mixture right in here. Delish. Smells incredible. Looks amazing as well. Alright guys, so here is our tea mixture. Remember, I started off with 3 cups and it reduced down to 2. And right here, I'm just going to save and add right back in to our arroz con dulce one, as I am making it, the ginger, which is about 5 large pieces that I had in the pot. I had 11 pieces, remember, but I'm just going to keep like some of the large ones, and I'm going to keep as well as the cinnamon sticks, only because they're large and they're easier to fish out. I really want more of the cinnamon to come out and the ginger. That's my preference. You don't have to do this part. I normally do it, and sometimes I don't. Sometimes I do it depending how I feel. But this is optional. But definitely our tea mixture is ready. And now let me show you what else we're going to need to finish this whole thing off. Alright my friends, here are my ingredients, and this is just some of my ingredients. I'm going to walk you through the rest. But this is not that much, even though it looks crazy right now, but trust me, it's going to go smooth. Now remember, we reserved 1 cup of the coconut milk with this pulp. I did not strain this out, so this is the fresh coconut milk with this pulp, and it has a nice cream on top. That's why I reserved it, for the extra flavor. Right here I have 1 cup of sugar cane. That is the raw sugar. I've chosen this sugar because it really brings out the authentic flavors in this dish. My grandmother had used this. This is very classic retro style. But if you like, you can use white sugar. But this, my friends, really brings out a nice hint of sweetness. Now remember, this is optional. You don't have to save this. But I just feel like if it cooks down more, it's going to bring out some more flavors that I absolutely love. Right here is the reserve pulp. And this is 1 cup of that fresh pulp that we made when we made our homemade fresh coconut milk. Right here is 1 can of evaporated milk, or you can use regular old whole milk if you prefer, but this will bring a nice flavor to it. As you know, our reserve tea that we made. Right here is actually the coconut water that I had saved when I opened up my 2 coconuts. This is all the water that poured out, not very much, but this is what was there, so I saved it. And right here is medium grain rice. Preferably to use a small grain, like medium, small, or pearl, rather than the large grain, only because this will produce more of a creamier texture and is way more starchier, and that will thicken up our pudding really, really well. And I didn't wash it because I want all the starch to help thicken up our pudding. So that's optional. You can certainly wash it, but I just feel like when it's not washed, all the starch that's in here is going to really do a really good job in this pudding. And right here is the reserved coconut milk that we made from scratch. It's nice, it's chilled, and it had actually separated from the fats on top to the liquid in the bottom, just like how it is when you open up a can of coconut. But in my opinion, better because it's homemade. So this is what you're going to need for now, and I'm going to walk you through the rest. Now let's begin. Alright guys, so you're going to need a nice medium to a large pot, because this is going to make a lot. And I love using my old pots. This is a retro pot. I had this for a very long time, but you know what, it took a really good beating and it works still amazing. So I'm just going to use it, and I'm going to put my stove on to medium low. Okay, so now let's start on putting in our coconut milk, our fresh coconut milk that is. Beautiful. And see all that clumps? That's just the coconut that separates, because you know coconut is very fatty. And you're going to make sure that all of it goes through. Yes. Delicious. Nothing like fresh coconut milk. It really, really, really is nothing like it. So make sure you scrape everything through. Don't leave nothing behind. All that is good, wonderful flavor that you work so hard for, because opening up coconuts is no joke. It really, really isn't. But anyhow, so we're going to stir this together. And as the stove is low, it's going to melt and get warmed up. But we're going to put all our wet ingredients first. And this is the carnation milk. Next, we're going to put our 2 cups of the tea mixture that we made. Fresh coconuts actually made 1 cup, still delicious. So I have about a cup and a half, rather, of the fresh coconut water. I'm going to stir this in here. Delish, delish, delish. It's going to be so flavorful. So awesome. Next, we're going to put in 32 ounces, which is 2 pounds, of our medium grain rice. And that's roughly 7.5 cups. We are making quite a few of this. We're making a nice big batch. And this is going to be amazing. And then I'm just going to put right back in our cinnamon sticks. They're going to produce more flavor. And our ginger pieces, they're big enough for me to fish out, and they are going to release more of its flavor. So that's why I like to leave that in there. And so as this slightly simmers, getting soft and getting nice and cooked up, I'm gonna tell you what else you need to do next. Alright guys, so make sure that you keep an eye on this, stirring it every 5-10 minutes or so until it gets thickened up, because if not, it's going to start to burn in the bottom and get stuck like the rice, and you don't want that. So make sure that your stove is not too high, and you just come back and check on it every so often, giving it a stir, because you want this to be, you know, mushy. This is not like making regular white rice when you're not supposed to be stirring it. You want the grains to get soft and everything's going to be dried up and become delicious anyway. So I'm going to show you how that looks and what else to put next. I'm just waiting for the liquids to reduce at least halfway. Alrighty, my friends, look at this. It had thickened up and the liquids had reduced a lot. I had tasted just to see how our rice is doing, and it has a small bite to it, which is fine, so it has more time to cook. Now I'm going to put in our shredded coconut that we have reserved. Remember from when we were making our coconut milk. I told you to reserve if you want, optional. Nice little fresh coconut shavings. It just gives it a nice coconut flavor. So we're going to stir that in. It's just going to bump up our coconut flavor. And I'm going to put in as well, remember the cup of coconut milk that had the pulp in it? We're going to put that in here too. It had a little bit of pulp, but it was more of that coconut milk and cream from when I first poured it in before I strained it. And we needed a little bit more water anyway because it was drying up. So this took about 10, I would say around 12 minutes. It all depends. Everyone's stove is different and how much of it that you are making, which this is quite a few. This is using 2 pounds of medium grain rice. So I'm going to put my stove low now. We just need it to simmer. I don't want it to cook it all the way through like if we're eating rice, regular rice. This is a pudding. So that thickness is what we're going to need. That creaminess looks magnificent. Alright guys, so our rice pudding is almost done, and I still need to amp up this flavor a little bit more. So give it a taste. You might need to add just a little bit more, this time, grounded cinnamon, which that's what I'm going to do. I'm putting in a teaspoon. You know, you can't get enough of this. Sometimes you just need to amp up the flavors just a little more. This is optional, because if yours come out flavorful, then you don't need to put more spices in it. So this is just me, and I'm going to put a half a teaspoon, a very small amount of ground cloves, maybe a half a teaspoon, or a little less than half a teaspoon, like 1/8. Definitely need to make sure that you don't overdo this, but like I said, you gotta give it a taste. And this is ground allspice, and that's also another 1/8. So even though we made our tea, sometimes we do need more flavorings. And we're going to put in a pinch of salt and a teaspoon or so of vanilla extract. This is always towards the end, because the vanilla extract tends to lose its flavors if you put it in sooner. So look at that, my friends. Wow, it looks so creamy. When I tell you it looks creamy, it actually does. Now we're going to put in our brown sugar, and this is to taste. This is 1 cup, but we're going to actually probably need more. So let's give this a stir and then taste to see if it needs more. Alright, my friends, so after you give this a good stir, it needed more of that sugar. So I'm going to put a cup more, because the sugar is actually not strong. So you're going to find yourself using more, and that's okay. And then a cup more of evaporated milk. So I'm going to leave you everything that I had used. Now the cup of evaporated milk is only if you feel your Arroz con Dulce is a little drying out, and the rice it's not fully cooked through. So yeah, you're gonna need to put a little bit more liquids in there. So you just put a little bit more, just to help it soften up. So I'm just going to give you some tips and suggestions. If you find that your rice is thickening up, but it's not fully cooked through, it still needs maybe like 5 minutes or less to cook, which is okay. Just make sure that your stove is low, and stir it and check it and taste to make sure all the spices and sweetness is just the way you like it. And it's really simple. Alright, my friends, at this point I'm going to put some raisins in here. I have those 1 ounce boxes. I'm going to put 1 of those for now. And I'm going to spread it around and cook it. I am not too much of a raisins person. I don't want this to be filled up with raisins. So you can use as much as you want, 1 or 2 boxes. 1 is usually sufficient. I want to be able to taste here and there. I don't like an overpowering taste of raisins in this particular dessert, so I will only put few. So I'm going to give it a taste right now to see if I need any more adjustments in my sweetness and in anything else. Alright, my friends, so this is the 3rd cup now. this should do. It still needed some more sugar. This is a lot, guys, and like I said, this raw sugar is not super sweet, so you will find yourself using a little more than usual. And this is a big old pot that we made here. Alright guys, the sugar is perfect. Doesn't need no more. Alright my friends, it's been a little while now and my rice pudding looks and smells phenomenal. I think in overall it probably took like 20 minutes to cook, give or take. It all depends on a lot of things, so just keep an eye on it, stir it, taste to make sure that it has enough sugar in it for your palate and it has enough of the warm spices for your palate. And if it doesn't, you can simply add more. And making sure that the rice is totally cooked through, that it doesn't have a bite to it. And if it does, allow it to simmer on a low, continuing putting evaporated milk or coconut milk or regular old whole milk if necessary, and adjust seasonings, adjust to your taste until everything is nice, rich, creamy, and thick, just like how you see now, and much more delicious. So now let's do a quick taste test. Okay friends, finally, our arroz con dulce is finally done the traditional way, the way that our abuelas would have made, homemade from scratch, homemade coconut milk, homemade of the little bits of the coconut pulp in there. It's delicious. It's just absolutely amazing. You definitely got to give it a try. It's a little bit of work, but I figure it's the holidays, and this is something that's made right in the holiday season for either Thanksgiving or Christmas, New Year's. At some point in the holidays, this is presented at the table. Totally delicious and divine. It actually really does give me a wonderful memories of my grandmother when she made this, and other wonderful memories of other older people that I know that have passed on that had made this for the holidays, and it's absolutely delicious. I love the flashback that it gave me, and I cannot wait to dig in. It's so good. It smells good. To me, it was worth the wait. Delicious. Definitely a crowd pleaser and good old classics for the holidays. So I'm going to give it a taste. It is piping hot. You can eat this warm or cold. I like it warm and I like it cold too, so. Wow. The coconut flavors are not overwhelming, but they're just right. The sweetness, perfect. The warm spices come in just beautifully, and everything just marries together. Simply divine. You gotta give this a try. I know it's a little bit of work to it. You can plan it out day by day. You can do the coconut milk in one day and put everything together in another. However way you work it out, make this traditional way. It's easy, it's simple, it's delicious. So you definitely got to give it a try. It was a pleasure making this for you. It's a pleasure bringing back wonderful memories. I'm quite sure this will give you good memories of the old times, and now you can make it yourself. Thank you so much for watching today, my friends. Don't forget that I will leave all the directions, the tips, and the ingredients listed down in the description box below, along with my social media sites. Come and visit me, come and follow me, come and chat with me. And until next time, my friends, have a happy and blessed holidays. Enjoy your recipes. I hope you give this a try. Tag me on a photo if you do make it. Definitely tag me on that photo. Would love to see all your creations. And I'll see you again. Take care. Bye bye.